Good morning, Toastmasters. I would like everybody to say with me, what a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day.
What a
What
What
a
a
beautiful day.
beautiful
beautiful
day.
day.
Nice. So, with this, today we are all gathered here for our 298th meeting. And being the star of today's meeting, I would like to welcome you all. Before we start off this meeting, I would like to mention some ground rules. The first rule is that please do not speak in between the speeches. Do not write in the chat window when the speech are going or the table topics are being delivered, and keep your phone on mute since we are having it online. So would request everybody to address these rules. Second is I would like to also call upon the mission of our club. So, the mission of the club is to provide a supportive and a learning environment for everybody to experiment, explore, and expand their horizon of public speaking. With this, now I would like to open this stage for everybody and I hand it over to our TMOD, Toastmaster Nancy. Over to you, Toastmaster
To
Nancy.
the to the PO to Smasar.
To the presiding officer, Toastmaster Aryan. Over to you, Toastmaster Aryan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vedu. I think I actually prefer it if we directly give it to the team mod. I have to speak less. But now that you have given the stage to me, uh, it's great that we have so many people joined in here today. I think some of the people are not available to help us out, but it's great that everybody took up the leadership to reassign roles and actually be able to have an active and enjoyable meeting today. Thanks a lot, all of you. And I think let's have a great meeting. I'll hand over the stage to our team out today, Toastmaster Nancy. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun. S- Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Our theme today is power of gratitude. So, gratitude is more than just saying thank you, it is a mindset, a way of seeing the world that turns ordinary moments into blessings. So, research shows that practicing gratitude improves mental health, strengthens relationships, and even boosts their resilience. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I started writing down three things. Went. I was just watching the video, and wherein it was mentioned that you should start writing whatever you feel in a day. So I started doing every day. Initially, I was like, I don't know why I'm doing it, but later on I started realizing that whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm aiming to do, I was becoming more positive towards what I was aiming to do. And with positive mind, I started seeing positive things happening in life. So gratitude did not change any circumstances, it just changed my perspective. Things not happening in our favor would also bring experience in our life. So we learn from them. Today, as we go through this meeting, I invite you to reflect on what you are grateful for, big or small, and how it changed or it shaped your life. Any thoughts anyone wants to share? Stage open for everyone. Toastmaster Vidhu, power of gratitude.
Gratitude keeps us grounded for sure. I was watching this, I don't know if everybody has watched the movie Insulted, which has just come on Netflix, which is on gratitude again. Like when you come with a position, then a lot of people lose the gratitude angle because they feel that they have the power to dominate the decisions. So, gratitude always keep us grounded. So very important. I always keep that in mind that irrespective of wherever we are, however we are doing in life, gratitude always keep us our human side element alive. So yeah.
Yeah, actually. Thanks, Vidhu, for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else? Toastmaster Shonak.
Well, I'm always feel gratitude about what I've received in life. I started with zero expectations, and what all I am today, it's all because of the God and because of the parents. So that gratitude is there and will always remain there. And someone told me some days back that you should have the zero expectation in life, because anything that you will get on the top of it, you will feel happy about it, because there are a lot of regret normally people have there in life. So do I have at times. But if you start with a bare minimum expectation, be it in a relationship, be it in terms of getting any gifts or anything from your relatives or from the friends, if you start with a zero expectation, anything that you will get will be above your expectation.
True.
So that's the practice I'm trying to follow now. And we should always have that gratitude. Then only we'll feel the pain of the others, because we really don't know the journey of others. We judge people based on their, how they present themselves or how they behave with us. But at times, it could be circumstantial where they are not able to meet our expectations, or maybe we have too much of expectations from them. So I know it's difficult a lot of times, you know, think getting into those details of it. But yeah, if you have the bare minimum or you have no expectation, you will have less regrets in life.
True. True.
Thank you.
In the morning also, I was talking to my mom and I was saying that I did these many things, that one thing is left. I wanted to finish that part. So my mom is saying, say thanks to whatever you have done, whatever you have received. Don't expect that those two people should have done these two things for you. Don't expect anything, just do whatever comes your way without expecting anything. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Shonak. Toastmaster Anshuman. Toastmaster Anshuman is there. Toastmaster Minakshi, your thoughts.
Yeah. So my thoughts on gratitude is, as human tendency, we have this lens where we tend to think things that we haven't got. But gratitude gives us an opportunity to realize what we already have. Because, technically, if you see, when you don't have a thing, and when you have it, and when you lose it, the first two feelings are something that we want to feel. But when we have something, we don't realize that we already have. So, just very small observation that I had. I was just scrolling one day and I watched this blue colored nail polish on this app website. And I thought, I want this. And I don't know what happened on payment gateway. I wasn't able to get that. And that feeling that I don't have it, it was so intense. I just went to check with my bank what went wrong. Why did that transaction not go through? So they told me that you need to get some documents submitted. And I've kept thinking about it. And finally, I just got my old pouch out and I tried to find things what I have. And I've got that same nail polish color sitting in my vanity for like months. So the feeling of not having something is much more intense. I'm worried about it. I'm checking what went wrong, but I never checked. I never went back what I already have.
Yeah.
So gratitude gives us an opportunity to realize what we already have before we lose it. And then we realize that things that we had were amazing. So why not enjoy things while we have? And when you pay attention to things that you already have, it will grow. So, which is why I feel practicing gratitude is the most amazing thing that you can do to yourself to make sure that you grow what you already have and what you want in life rather than worrying about what you don't have,
But
because
we don't have.
probably it's best for us things that we don't have. Now I wonder, what if I've done that payment, I've regretted my decision of buying that again.
Yeah.
My thoughts. Thank
We
you.
should be thankful. There are hundreds of things that we have, and there are few things that we don't have, and we are worried about those where we are left with.
No, I totally agree with Toastmaster Meenakshi. A lot of time we don't even know what is there in our closets because we don't
Exactly.
actually see that, and then we'll keep buying similar things and repetitive things. And when we do go for a this cleaning spree at some point in time, and then we realize, oh, we already have these many
We
things we have
already
never
have.
used. So I mean, 80% of buying is like it's a binge because we don't have anything else to do. If we like something, so someone told me there is a difference between need and desire.
Hmm.
So 90% of the time it is what we desire for, but not something that we actually need for.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Shaunak. Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi, for your thoughts. Aryan, any thoughts from your side?
Yes, it's almost as if I don't work on gratitude enough, but when I think about it, it's like, um, however many things you expect in life, it doesn't matter how much you have because you just expect them. But if you suddenly think, what, I have my own room, that's so crazy. Like 99% of humanity has not even had a room. And when I think like that, everything that I have becomes more valuable somehow.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Toastmaster Aryan, for your thoughts. Toastmaster Anshuman is back.
Yes, Toastmaster Nancy, I feel grateful for um, anything and everything that's usually over and above my expectations. Like for example, this bride picnic meeting or bride and toastmaster in general. Um, so anything like which is above my base expectation, there's a natural gratitude. But to your other point of having gratitude for the things where the feeling of gratitude is not automatically there, I think that's a conscious activity. I've tried once in a while, but I'm not that disciplined about it. Um, but I think hearing your all thoughts makes me realize that I should practice it once in a while and see how it goes. So I'm not too much of a practitioner um, of areas where gratitude should be implemented, but being inspired by your theme today, maybe I'll try it out. But yes, I do feel gratitude for all the good things in life, where it's you like at times and mostly it's above my base expectations.
I mean, it requires lot of efforts when we need that one thing which we really need it, and then we are, I mean, saying thanks to what we have. It requires lot of effort. I understand
True.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I don't think anyone among us would be that level of practitioner, but maybe we can try. Yeah. So Toastmaster, so Pooja is the guest or to be Toastmaster or
Pooja is guest
Yeah,
for bride wedding, but she's already a Toastmaster, right, Pooja?
yeah, I was a part of this group sometime back, but now joined in as a guest.
okay. Toastmaster Pooja, any thoughts from your side?
Yeah, I was listening to all the conversations, and it reminded me of an incident which happened very recently with me. So, I was into these AI trainings, and all of you must be aware of the AI buzz that is going on in the corporate. And I was into some rigorous training. I had to travel to Noida 3 days a week, and I was like quite exhausted. And because of which, my mood was quite low. And I thought, okay, I'll go for a walk in the park. And recently I noticed, and I mean, all of a sudden I noticed that I have got a missed call from one of my old friends who was a colleague in the first company. And I was wondering that after so much of time he called me, so I should call him back. I called him and I checked him, how are you doing? And he told me that I recently got impacted by a layoff. So I was just connecting the dots that I have been thinking that how exhausted I'm feeling, and the industry corporate is so hectic, and all of that was coming into my mind. And at the same time, I get to hear of people getting impacted by layout. So it made me feel at that time that we crib about things which we take it for granted. That
Exactly.
extra effort that we have to put versus a job going away.
Hmm.
So I can relate to what Anshuman also mentioned, that at times we are not in that practice of feeling gratitude for what we already have. So this I was able to completely relate to it. So yeah,
And when we see people who are facing tougher situations than us, then we feel that gratitude power.
exactly,
So then we say thanks that we are in better position than others, than many of, I mean,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah,
So there is an app. If you go to that app and if you put it up, where is your standing in terms of, if you're getting food, if you're getting clean water, if you have a house, you are
Yeah.
already among the top 10 population of the world.
Hmm. Right.
And the lifestyle that you are leading brings you to the top 5 percentage of the people in the world. So if you really wanted to practice gratitude, just walk around the roads.
Hmm. Right.
So if you have any doubt about yourself that we don't have this, we don't have that, that doubt itself will get away when you'll see the miseries and the conditions people are living with.
And suddenly, when we see people, someone stranger, then whenever someone we are talking to some stranger, and when we start hearing their story, then we feel that we are blessed. Many times it happens. It, yeah. Okay.
Yes, Toastmaster Aryan, I
Yeah.
see your hand.
Yeah, Toastmaster Aryan.
One great strategy you mentioned, Nancy, if you have people around you who have a horrible life, then
Hmm.
looking at their life makes you grateful for your own. I think that's a great
True.
strategy we can use.
True. Many times I have felt that I was not in good mood. Multiple times it happens, but and when we see when I start talking to someone stranger, suddenly came. I mean, nothing that I'm trying to make my mood up, but I mean, suddenly our mood changes, and we feel that I am happy. I'm happy in my current situation. It happens.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, thank you everyone for your thoughts. So now we would move on to our next uh, um journey. So
Next section.
next section, sorry. So the meeting is divided into three parts. First part consists of prepared speeches where members prepare in advance for 5 to 7 minutes. Second part is fun-filled table topics where everyone has to speak on 1 or 2 minutes on the uh, table topics and impromptu speech. They have to give on a topic given by table topic master. Third part and the most important part is the evaluation section where our general evaluator for the day will give the report. So let me invite our stage to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Minakshi, to introduce general evaluation section for the day. Toastmaster Minakshi, over to you.
Hello. So, my role as a general evaluator would be to evaluate in general, the meeting in total, and to make sure that we conduct the meeting as per the given standards of Toastmasters. And to help me with the evaluations, I have got my tag team with me who will help us with the timing, the filler words counter as well as the language. So somebody popped in chat. Let me quickly have a look. Okay, so let me introduce my tag team for better evaluations. We have got our tag team. First, we have our counter and language evaluator, Toastmaster Vidhu. Toastmaster Vidhu, would you like to tell us more about your role?
Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. So I would be supporting the R counter and the language evaluator role. And as an R counter, my role would be to look at all the filler words, the R's, long pauses. And as a language evaluator, my role would be to look at the good usages and bad usages of the words. And towards the end, I'll share my report. I'll hand it over to Toastmaster Meenakshi. Over to
Right.
you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Vidhu. Would you like to give us the word of the day? You can pop it in the chat.
Yep.
And so, meanwhile, we have the next role is timer, because we all know the importance of timings. So let me introduce our timer, which is Toastmaster Anshuman. Would you like to explain more about your role today?
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Meenakshi. And I, as a timer, is going to ensure that the speeches, the table topics, and the evaluations are on time. Besides, just nudging that the overall meeting is also on time. So regarding the speeches, if it's an icebreaker, you'll have a green card at 4 minutes, yellow card at 5 minutes, and red card at 6 minutes. If it's a speech, and it's usually a speech, so you'll have green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. For table topics, it's going to be green card at 1 minute, yellow card 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. And for evaluations, 2 minutes green card, 2.5 minutes yellow card, and 3 minutes red card, with 30 seconds buffer for each. I hope all of us are within the time so that the meeting adheres to the overall agenda and we are able to practice within a constrained time. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman, and thank you to our entire tag team for picking up roles last minute. So great job done on that. Apart from that, we will have evaluators which will be evaluating the speech as well. That will be shared after the speech is finished towards the end of the section. So this is the evaluation section, all about evaluating the meetings, the timings, the speeches, and the general evaluation, how everyone has performed their role. So over to you, Mod Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Okay, so just wanted to ask who will be evaluating Toastmaster Aryan's speech since Toastmaster Harsh is not there? Toastmaster
It's going to
Anshuman?
be, yeah, it's going to be.
And who is going to evaluate Shaunak's speech? Toastmaster.
Shaunak's speech will be Toastmaster Vidhu is there.
All
No,
right.
sorry,
So,
okay, it's the opposite actually. Toastmaster Aryan will be evaluated by Toastmaster Vidhu. I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Shaunak's speech.
Toastmaster Vidhu, okay.
all right.
And
And
you-
also, we have got the word of the day in chat, which is chalant or nonchalant, meaning feeling of appearing casually calm, unconcerned, or indifferent. Examples are she pretends to be nonchalant about her exam results, but she's actually very chalant. So I encourage everyone to use the word of the day in your speech. And when people use the word of the day, please acknowledge it, giving a virtual thumbs up or just raising your thumbs. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. So now we move on to next section is the prepared speeches section. So the first speaker today is very energetic speaker who generally takes up multiple roles in our almost every Toastmaster meeting. So we welcome our first speaker today, Toastmaster Aryan. Toastmaster Aryan will be evaluated by Toastmaster Vidhu. I welcome our evaluator Toastmaster Vidhu to share the speech objective. Over to you, Toastmaster Vidhu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. So Aryan will be delivering an informal speech, and the title of the speech is Notes to Self.
Sorry, what
Over
is
to
the
you. Title of his speech is Notes to Self.
notes to self?
O- Over
Okay,
to you, Toastmaster Aryan.
so let's invite our first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Aryan, who will be delivering a speech titled Notes to Self. Notes to Self, Toastmaster Aryan. Over to you, Toastmaster Aryan.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Great. There's some background noise in the back, so if you cannot hear me, just raise. Can you hear me, Meenakshi?
We can't hear the background noise, so don't worry about it.
Okay. But if
Even
you
I
can,
haven't
just
heard that background noise even once. So
hey, it's so loud. I
no,
don't
no,
know how
We
we
it
can't
can't.
is,
hear.
guys.
Yeah, your
That's
background noise clearance mechanism in your laptop is quite.
Yeah, it's very good. That's what I was
that's
feeling.
okay. I mean, it's currently down. If it comes to this side, then you'll
We
definitely
haven't heard it ever, and you won the
know.
contest also, so you can imagine. Don't worry about the noise at all. Just ignore it and play.
Okay. So today I wanted to give you a session, an informal session on what I have recently learned about writing speeches. So these are my notes to self. If I could give a message to myself 11, 13 months in the past when I first joined Toastmasters, these are the things that I would want myself to know. So there's so many stories we've come by. I'm sure Shaunak would know this very well. When people have a great club level speech and they're like, oh yes, I delivered such a great speech. And when they begin preparing for area level, they take feedback from so many different people. They work on their feedback and they're like, yes, I have to do that. This is what my speech should be like. And when they reach area level, you realize that their speech has actually deteriorated from their club level speech, even though they put so many hours into the speech. And the question is, why does that happen? The reason is, at least from what I understand, or what I would want to tell my past self, is when you take feedback from average Toastmaster or when you take feedback from 10 people and do the average of that, then your speech will become the average of what the average person thinks the average great speech is like. The average person thinks, the great world champion speech has a tagline of I see something in you. Just put a tagline in there. If any of you have ever been in an evaluation contest, what will happen is one person will deliver a speech, and all of the contestants will evaluate that speech, and you'll see what overall recommendations that they are giving to improve that speech. And those recommendations are almost always very, very similar. They'll say, add some kind of a hero that you had when you were young and make that person kind of a guru that gave you that message in the first place. They'll say that again, add a tagline. They'll say add some dramatic or repeatable gesture that people can remember. And so if you just think about it, eventually, if you take feedback from everybody around you, every speech will just become the same thing of a tagline, a guru, and just the exact same template of what the people think an average great speech is like. And so, what has been a great revelation for me is that if you think you do not agree with some feedback that has been given to your speech, you don't have to do it. You can say, I do not agree with that. The approach that we bring to our speech has been of as much feedback as I can get is better, and as much feedback as I can execute into my speech is even better. But what if we thought about it as if an artist? There have been so many times, as you might know about Da Vinci or all these past artists who were told that their art was horrible. When the Impressionists first came into the market, when they were emerging, there were riots in the streets to stop their art form because it was against what was enforced by society at the time. Everybody was so strongly against them, but still they thought that this is how it should be. And if you bring about the mindset of the artist to your speech, then you will realize that you know what your speech should be like better than anybody else might. What is the ideal speech that you think you want to deliver and work on that? One thing that has been very helpful to me, if you might know distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder that recommends, is whenever you're writing a speech, whenever you're working on a speech, think about the feeling that you first got when you had the idea of the speech. When you first have an idea, it's like a flash, like a flash of insight. It makes sense suddenly. This is what it should look like. This is what it should feel like. But as the speech moves forward and you iterate on the speech, that feeling goes away. You don't feel it anymore. And the purpose of the speech is for you to feel the speech as strongly as possible, not for the audience to only feel it. If you don't feel it, the audience definitely won't feel it. So think about what is your conception of what the speech should look like, not anybody else's. Nobody knows you better than you do. Nobody knows your speech, your message, your story better than you will. And if you need somebody else's feedback to improve your speech, then they might as well write your speech. And then how is it yours? It has been an interesting discovery to understand that all of the feedback that I was incorporating into my speech was being taken from the wrong people. I mean, it would be different if we were all, distinguished world champions and everybody had such a great educated opinion. But usually people have their own conception of what a great speech is like. There have been times when I'll go and give a speech to a club, and there'll be two people I'm speaking to, both, giving me kind of armchair feedback that, okay, the meeting is over. What can you do to improve your speech? One will say, I think that emotion that you had in your speech, I felt uncomfortable. Maybe you should remove that. And then he went away, and the other guy was like, that one thing that you said that he said was so awkward. I thought it made you vulnerable. Completely contradicting feedback. What am I supposed to do with that? And in the end, if you take feedback from everybody, that is what will happen. If you're writing a speech, in the end, you have to stand for something. You have to stand to do something crazy. The 2001 world champion, Darren LaCroix, always says something. In his speech, the first thing that he does is he falls forward on the stage and literally lies down on the stage and says, Dear Toastmasters and contest chair, sometimes you fall on your face. And he delivers 15 seconds of his speech lying on the stage. And what he says is every speech, no matter good or bad, no matter if it wins or doesn't win, should have an element of something that is 11 out of 10. If there is nothing that's insanely crazy that people will remember for sure, no matter if you win or lose, then there's nothing that makes the speech special. And that is what comes from the artist within. That is something that comes from instinct rather than something that comes from data. Trying to maximize analytics of I can move slightly this way or slightly that way, and trying to improve your speech little by little that way is a much different approach to bring than to bring the approach of the artist. The artist, think about all of the art pieces that have come before, Mona Lisa, all these insanely valuable art pieces. They came about because the artist had something in their mind that this is something that should exist, even though everybody else might not agree. And that is how great pieces of art came to be. I want you to make your speech into a great piece of art. So think about what you want it to be like and bring it about. Back to you, Tino.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for the wonderful speech. And the title of the speech was very good. One line which you mentioned that if you don't feel the speech, then that speech will not be effective enough. Even I have seen that whenever I I gave very less speeches. I mean, it's hardly two or three, but I knew that how bad it was or how it was good, or whether I was better than earlier or not. I am the best judge for myself rather than anyone else. So you should be the first judge, and then you should consider other evaluations. That's for sure. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun, for the wonderful speech. So now we should move on. We are moving on to our next speaker. Second speaker is Toastmaster Shonak. And Toastmaster Shonak will be evaluated by Toastmaster Anshuman. Title of the uh, speech, Shonak, Toastmaster Shonak, you want to share?
Yeah, let me send it to Toastmaster Anshuman. Actually, I send it to Toastmaster Vidhu.
Sure. Okay. So evaluation will be done by Toastmaster Anshuman. Over to you, Toastmaster Anshuman. You're on mute.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Nancy. I'm presuming it's going to be level 1 P2 Toastmaster Shonak. I'm always usually excited about Toastmaster Shonak's speech, which is full of wisdom and nuggets. And it's, as I can see from the speech title, an ocean of surprises. My Sea World adventure. I think that's going to be the title. The timing that I'll ensure is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. I look forward to the speech for Toastmaster Shonak. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy, with the speech title, An Ocean of Surprises.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Over to Toastmaster Shonak. Speech title Ocean of Surprises. Ocean of Surprises, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nancy. Now, you said at the beginning of the meeting, it's the prepared speeches that Toastmasters deliver, not all the time, like today. So recently I've been to Dubai, a lot of you might have. It's a beautiful country, entirely made with the human vision, sheer willness that have converted a desert into a futuristic country. But I'll not talk about the big buildings and what all humans have done there. Yes, the part I'm going to cover today is also being made by humans, but how that transformation or a journey to the sea world changed my entire perspective that whatever humans will build, we cannot compete with the nature or what God has given to us. So I decided to take my kids to Sea World in Dubai, and it was even my first trip witnessing such a beautiful thing for the first time. I was very excited, and so were my kids. When we reached there, I saw a lot of families wearing fancy jazz stuff related to the aquatic creatures and all. And that thrilled me even more. Children's and parents, they were entering the park with all excitement and the amusement, and yes, with zero patience because they know what is going to come, because they have to deal with the children running here and there. And so I entered the park with my kids too. The moment I reached there, I saw the aura and the grandeur of that park. It was mesmerizing, it was out of the world. The sea creatures were kept in different ponds where you can actually see them and touch them. Just at the entrance, there was a big pond with star-like creatures there. At first, I thought these might be the non-living things they might have kept for the decoration purposes, because those were the star tracks with some jewelry embedded on that. I had never thought it could be a living creature. So I checked with the people over there, what exactly is this? Is this a living or a non-living thing? They said these are the real sea creatures. And then I realized how beautiful the aquatic life could be. It was out of my imagination. I had never witnessed such thing in my life. I touched that, was a little bit confused. Is it a stone or a real creature? There were stars there, which looked like stones carved in a star shape. Again, accelerated my anxiety. I was just wondering, how can this be a real one? It is looking like a stone to me, which is carved in a star shape. Perplexed, I touched that and tilted upside down, and it was an actual creature. That reminds me, no matter how great we think of ourselves, no matter how big fancy things we made, we cannot compete with the nature. Every small detail, the way they were carved by the nature was out of this world. Moving on to the next pond where I saw the stingrays, and there were a lot of other, fishes, which I have witnessed for the first time. And when I touched them, I felt a peace within myself. Water itself gave a lot of peace. I'm not a water baby where I want to get into the water, but I love watching water from outside. Went further where I witnessed the aquatic life, and I witnessed sea lions and the penguins for the first time in my life with such closeness. And they were beautiful, out of this world. Seeing them gave me immense pleasure. Not only me, even my kids were so excited seeing them. They were so playful, they were enjoying their life. They had no worry that whosoever is watching them. They were so pally seeing humans, and they were trying to do all the fancy stuff to get that attention. And then they had created a chamber in the way where you can get inside and you can see how they are doing the activities inside the water. So that was the first floor where you can see actually how it's on the floor. But then actually, since it's an aquatic animals, and also you can actually see from the bottom that how they behave in water. And that was so mesmerizing to see. And that's why I wonder now, living all these fancies of the life, big buildings and all, don't give me that calm and pleasure which I get when I connect with the nature. We stayed there for the entire day. Doesn't look like that we have spent hours and hours seeing different varieties of aquatic animals, seeing their way of behavior, how they have adapted to a environment that has been given by the humans, and it's not the natural environment they are living in, but they have adapted themselves. Yes, that also the kudos to the humans where they have tried to give them the natural environment they have part of. Dubai being a humid country, a desert, and they have stationed aquatic animals from Arctic, for example, penguins and sea lions, who cannot sustain under such extreme weather, but they have created an environment where they can stay like a natural habitat. Moving further were the flamingo section where I have witnessed tropical animals like flamingo, orange color flamingos. And I kept looking to them for almost 5 minutes, thinking, can creatures can be that beautiful? And so with my kids and everyone around them, they were trying to take pictures with the flamingos, and so I did that. There were hundreds of, not hundreds of, but 50, 60, a group of 50, 60 flamingos. They were feeding themselves on fishes. It's like a day-to-day normal activity they might be doing. But for me, it was totally unusual seeing them for the first time, witnessing them, such beautiful creatures for the first time. And then came the dolphin show. The chalant of those dolphins and the trainers clearly witnessed when I saw that show. The synchronized dolphins were exactly mimicking what their trainers were doing. And you can see the connect between the humans and the animals during that show, where the dolphins were imitating each and every action and they understand there is a language barrier, what humans are saying and what the dolphins understands actually. But how that synchronization between two different species was totally mesmerizing to see. They know each and every action, what the trainer wanted to say, and they were imitating that. So the people were sitting outside the pool, and there was a word of caution that you might get a splash. I was sitting among those rows where before I could have understood, I saw a huge splash of water coming to me and to my kids. And we got little bit, that was an awkward situation, but that was common. People were watching and laughing us, and so we were. Because that was the part of the show, which was called the splash. So after spending the entire day witnessing sharks, stingrays, hammerheads, such beautiful creatures which I have only seen in the Discovery Channel, I came out with a joy on my face, the peace in my heart. I saw my kids having the same feeling where they were talking endlessly about what they have seen. And when I came back to India, I asked them, what was the best moment that you had witnessed during your entire trip? And I was glad when they said it was the Sea World. They have seen all the buildings, all the fancies that were created by the humans. But it was the nature where we felt that connection, where we felt the peace, where we felt that calmness after watching to it. So this was my journey to the Sea World. I'm sure you might be having such journeys and wish you all the best with your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shaunak, for your unprepared speech, but that was actually wonderful. And we could imagine the way you were explaining seeing all natural beauties. And I mean, it feels good. You cannot compare natural beauty to artificial one. We really feel good when we connect with nature. I mean, all the stress in our life goes when we sit there and observe the natural beauties of.
So
Yeah,
that's how it's also connected with the gratitude as the topic of today's meeting.
good. Yeah,
We all are fascinated by the fancies of the world without realizing that the actually beauty lies within ourselves.
mm, true. Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Shonak. So now we move on to our next topic, which is most exciting part of our meeting, is table topics. So our table topic master today is Toastmaster Anshuman. Okay,
Yes, that
Toastmaster
is
Anshuman.
yes, that is true. And thanks a lot everyone for sharing thoughts on the theme gratitude. And I'm sure all of us are full of gratitude joining the meeting today and for life in general. And we're going to test that out of how full of gratitude we are through a string of table topics. I hope we are ready to be challenged by table topics. All right. Maybe I'll start with someone who has again restarted joining Toastmasters meetings, which is Toastmaster Vidhu. Toastmaster Vidhu, if you're available.
Yeah, Toastmaster Anshuman.
So, Toastmaster Vidhu, is gratitude a feeling, a discipline, or a choice? Is gratitude a feeling, a discipline, or a choice? Toastmaster Vidhu.
So gratitude for me, I feel is like a sunlight. Whenever I feel that I am in my lows, I start writing whatever I have, be it in form of the blessings from our elders, as small as able to breathe, have the right drinkable water, have people around us, as small as even breathing. So gratitude for me has always been that light of hope wherever I want to achieve something big, want to go extra mile, want to do something extraordinary. It gives me that push that even things are go haywire, then also we have achieved and we have so much in life that whatever we are doing at the moment is something we are just trying to add on, and it's not the prime goal of our life. So gratitude is basically that bridge for me to reach from the bottom to the top. And so it's a choice, and it's a choice. Some people call it discipline, for some journaling, writing 10 things every day about, or maybe ending your day with a gratitude is a discipline. But at there are a lot of days when I'm not able to follow it, so I'm not yet disciplined in terms of following gratitude at the moment. So I consider it as a choice whenever I am in the low moments. Over to you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Vidhu. That's very well put. All right, who do we have next? Toastmaster Aryan, do you want to do a table topic before you drop off? Is that possible?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sure. A quick one for you, so that like you leave with full of gratitude, right? All right. Hmm. I'm just trying to think what can be the best one for you. Hmm. I think there are no hard, challenging table topics left for you, is it? But all right, then let's go for a simple one. So, deliver a mock Oscar acceptance speech for best lesson learned. Deliver a mock Oscar acceptance speech for best lesson learned. Toastmaster Aryan.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so glad I can finally have this Oscar. I have been dreaming about this my whole life. This has been my dream since I was a kid. Seeing people accept Oscars, I've always wanted to keep an Oscar on my study table. It would be so great, look so aesthetic and mesmerizing. I've always wanted to have an Oscar. My best lesson learned in trying to earn an Oscar is that it doesn't matter. That if you're grateful for what you have, if you're grateful, be it an Oscar or be it a Best Speaker Award in Bright Beginning Toastmasters, if you're grateful for it, they're all the same. If you just value your goals, if you just value the kind of person you want to be, and not immerse yourself in these material and external achievements so much, then they're all kind of the same. We are so invested in thinking that once I win the Oscar, I can be so great and be so awesome, and life will finally be good again, or finally be good, period. And we fool ourselves into not living the life that we have today. We fool ourselves into escaping all the great things that we have around us right now. We don't look at them, we don't observe them, we just don't even see them. We don't see that we have such insane technology in our hands. We have so many things that have not existed for tens of thousands of years, and we are the only humans who ever had them. I'm grateful to have won this Oscar, but I want you to realize that you don't have to win an Oscar to be good. You don't have to win an Oscar to be worthy. You can be grateful for the person you are today and try to work on the goals that you have already. Thank you, and back to you, Able Topic Master.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Aryan, for the gratitude speech before you leave for the day. All right, who do we want to have next? Toastmaster Shaunak.
Give it to Toastmaster Pooja.
She's not there.
Yeah, you can give it to me.
All right. Hmm. I think relates to your maybe area director role. So How has becoming responsible for others changed your sense of gratitude? How has becoming responsible for others changed your sense of gratitude, Toastmaster Sean?
After becoming area director, there are certain clubs who are under my jurisdiction where I need to support those clubs in order to achieve their DCP goals and ensure that they are getting the right support for the better functioning and the operations. During this time, I got a lot of support from my division director and from my peers, whereas area director role was totally new to me. Yes, there was a checklist which was provided to me, but how to implement that on grounds, I was not really aware. So these people have really helped me a lot in order to help me understand how actually area director has to function, how they have to implement all these things. Not only that, the leadership and the peers from the other divisions and districts have also helped me a lot. Where during the time of contest, where you require support from a lot of people to conduct the club level contests, they have really stepped in wherever needed to fill up those gaps or fill up those roles to provide the timely support. Not only from that, we are doing a lot of cold calling, trying to get new clubs where these people are supporting me in filling the player's role, taking out time in spite of their hectic schedules during their office hours, even on weekdays, to provide all the required necessary support. And that is the gratitude I have towards them, where they have really helped me grow and see a vision and help me perform my duties diligently. Where I cannot say being a direct area director, I have achieved that myself, but it's because of the team that is there. There are people who have really helped me sailing this through journey and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Shauna. Definitely, I think area director, any district role is quite a challenging role, and thank you for your service in that regard. Now, concluding the table topic with the last two great speakers that we have, starting with Toastmaster Meenakshi. Toastmaster Meenakshi, your topic is going to be why I'm not able to find difficult topics today. uh, okay, a simple one for you. Who is someone you've never properly thanked? Who is someone you've never properly thanked? And why not? Toastmaster Meenakshi.
If there is anyone who I have never thanked, is myself. We always think that we should be grateful to the things that we have outside, maybe our teachers, our friends, everyone, and we are very grateful to them. But one person that we actually forget is ourselves, because sometimes the gratitude isn't about thanking people around you or thanking things that you have. It's about acknowledging that you are capable of absorbing all that. So there's been time where I was looking for external validation. People should come and tell me that, no, you're good, everything is fine. Because at this point, I'm trying very hard to keep up with my health, my skills, to make sure that, yes, I'm seen in office, I'm cooking so that I look good in household. But in this, I realized that nobody is thankful for my work. And when I realized nobody is thankful, I started doubting myself. And that's when it hits hard. When you know you're giving your 100%, thank yourself. And when you are grateful for the efforts that you are putting, everyone else will start to see that. So thank yourself for putting in effort every day. Thank yourself, be grateful, and express gratitude to yourself that you show up every day, no matter what. What is the feeling? What what does the day look like, how the outside world is, because everything is within you. And when you express gratitude for things that is within you, they will amplify, they will get doubled. And that's when you become the best version of yourself. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Minakshi, for sharing that beautiful thought. I completely agree that thanking oneself is an essential, important activity, as we should consciously exercise. All right, last but not the least, Toastmaster Nancy, who's the theme leader today. So, what topic can I give a theme leader? I have one. So, Toastmaster Nancy gave a speech thanking something invisible. Give a speech thanking something invisible, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thanking someone, something invisible. So that's what our topic is today. So gratitude again, it is not visible, but it makes impact in our life. Whatever we do, I agree with the thought which Meenakshi shared, Toastmaster Meenakshi shared. I never realized that we should be thankful to ourselves as well. We always say that we should be thankful to what we have. We have everything. We have our parents. We should be thankful to parents, family, everyone. But we are not thankful to ourselves. We are putting a lot of efforts. So this is one thing which is not visible, but it makes impact in our life, and that makes ourselves better one every day. If we start doing gratitude every day, we will be more positive, and I think our perspective would also be changed towards our life. We would start seeing things in positive direction. And when we feel that things are going positive, we work towards it, and whatever we see that we are not able to do, we start we start the progress towards that area as well. So gratitude is one thing which is not visible, but that's the most important part. That is one of the most important part of our life. So that's about the most invisible part, but important part. Back to you, Roastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastman Nancy. It was wonderful being a table topic master for all of us today. Back to you to take forward the proceedings.
Thank you,
Toastmaster Anshuman, if you would like to take table topic.
Yeah.
I have enough roles today, so I'll let the meeting conclude for the day.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. That was really an interesting table topic session. And you picked up the theme that we had for today. So that was good. And as now it is time to head towards the last session of the day, the evaluation session. So, evaluation session, what we feel is the important part in our meeting. So, feedback is a gift, and the gratitude makes us accept it with an open heart. So let's hear from our general evaluator, Toastmaster, general evaluator, who is Toastmaster Meenakshi. So back to over to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. Yes, definitely. Evaluation, feedback is a gift that we can get because, yes, we are here to learn, grow, and progress. So we will begin our evaluation section. Let me call upon the evaluator for our first speaker, Toastmaster Aryan. Toastmaster Aryan is not here. I'll make a note of his feedback and share with him. So for that, I will call upon Toastmaster Vidhu Agrawal so that she can give us the feedback.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meenakshi. So today, Anshuman delivered an impromptu speech, The
Aryan.
title of the speech, sorry, informal.
Aryan.
Toastmaster Aryan. You mentioned
Okay,
Toastmaster.
sorry. Okay, sorry. So today, Toastmaster Aryan delivered an impromptu speech, and the title of the speech was Notes to Self. The way he started off with the speech was quite strong, and the structure of the content was bang on. Like he started off with the overall problem statement, which we all face when we deliver a speech, which is like taking feedbacks, not going in the right direction, what he has witnessed, sharing it with the right examples, and then topping up towards the closure, wherein he was also telling us a solution to think what is relevant to you, what was the main aim or agenda, or maybe the feel the speech, even whatever how many times you're delivering it, don't lose the essence of the speech, because the speech is something which you felt at the first place. So overall, the way he has delivered, it was quite, I would say, it was a learning for everybody, because most of our club members have not tried so many speeches and has not gone to that area level. So it's a learning for everyone. In terms of the clarity, he was quite clear of what he wanted to convey. In terms of the vocal variety, is something which I felt the pace of the speech was bit high. At times, he could have like given pauses. Broadly, the hand gesture was right, irrespective of the fact that he was on the screen. He was able to engage everybody till the end. So overall, the engagement of the audience was good. The gestures were apt in terms of the hand movements. He was able to clearly articulate what he wanted to convey. And the one recommendation I have for him is more around the pace. The pace or pace at times was, because when you relate to a speech and you know that what's you're trying to convey, so there are times when you just uh, deliver it in one go. So there were pieces in between where he was bit fast in terms of delivery. Overall, it was a great speech. We learned so much today based on his experience. So looking forward to more such of his speeches. Over to you, our general evaluator, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vidhu, for that valuable insights. I am certain is going to be helpful for everyone in the room. Next, I would like to invite our evaluator for speaker number 2, which is Toastmaster Anshu.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Meenakshi, and thanks a lot, Toastmaster Shonak, for being a champion last minute speaker. And you delivered in how, and we know all about your prowess about speaking. And today's speech demonstrated of how one can structure a speech even in trying circumstances of giving it last moment. And you started with a typical uh, eye-catching, rather ear-catching beginning of how Dubai is a man-made city, and there's such towering structures, such a great environment, and at the same time you capped with saying, but you're not going to talk all about it. You're going to focus on a unique experience, which made us all curious of if Toastmaster Shonik is not going to talk about the typical Dubai, what is he going to talk about? And then you took us to a visual spectacle of experiencing how artificial or not so artificial water bodies are built in the city or the state of Dubai. And then you wonderfully shared your personal and family's experiences of how different creatures looked, or you mistook them, took them, what your feelings, experiences were, how artificial versus man, how artificial versus natural plays out in such an environment, and was able to share, were able to share your thoughts pretty candidly and vividly. So all kudos to that. Your voice was all clear. You were sitting with the right posture, seated in the seat. How you can challenge yourself in such situations is, as we have been discussing, is just focusing on one story and expanding upon it with full energy and your mind. That you can visualize, say one story relating to yourself, starting giving it a background character, moving through it, describing it, and then concluding it with a climax which can take us to your world in more depth than just sharing of thoughts, because that also helps get more vocal variety into your speech. That adding dialogues, adding character, adding emotions automatically brings out vocal variety, which I felt was a bit of struggle today. And that is understandable because this was quite last moment. But the last 3 to 4 minutes of his speech were in this even tone, even pace, and more informational than engaging than you usually are. So if stuck in a situation, my suggestion will be to just focus on one story, expand upon it, and bring it to a good conclusion. Overall, quite a wonderful, informative, and visually appealing speech, where we could understand the world of Dubai from a niche lens of the water bodies that may be existing there. Where you can challenge yourself is focusing on vocal variety, preferably through a story if possible. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Minakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman, for such a detailed and honest feedback. Yes, I felt that thing during the course of speech. Thank you so much for highlighting it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman, for wonderful evaluation. I am certain we all have something to learn from it. And yeah, it was amazing speech. And we can continue to grow together, receiving the feedback and working on the recommendation. Moving on, we have our tag team. So could we have our counter and language evaluator, Toastmaster Vidhu, to share her report?
Yep. Thank you, Toastmaster Minakshi. So, in terms of the R count, we had Aryan speech 1 R and one long pause. In Shaunak, we have one and then one long pause. Then Shaunak table topic had 1 R. Then Anshuman evaluation has 2 R and Nancy table topic has two long pauses. In terms of the good usages, we have some great usages like grandeur of the park, accelerated by my anxiety, perplexed, pally, word of caution, aesthetic, vividly, and some of the areas where we could improve is they had no worry on whosoever was watching them. So it could be they had no worry about who was watching them. Then we had laughing us laughing us, so it should be laughing at us. All fancies created by the human, all the great things or wonders created by the humans, and these are two of improvement areas itself, like the kudos to the humans, kudos to the human behind it all. Just a rephrase of what could be better. Doesn't look like we spend hours and hours. It didn't feel like we spend hours and hours there. So I think broadly these were some of the good and bad usages of the word. And to my knowledge, nobody used the word of the day, chalant and nonchalant today. And pardon me if somebody used it, but
Toastmaster
did I
Shonak.
did. Shauna.
Toastmaster Shonak used.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Toastmaster.
thank you so much, Toastmaster Vidhu, for sharing your report. And yes, we acknowledge that Toastmaster Shaunak did use the word of the day. So great job done on that. All right. So next we have our timer, Toastmaster Anshuman. Would you give us the timer report, please? Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Toastma Minakshi. The good news is that all the role players were within time. Uh, the folks who played with the red card, that list is not that long. It's just one person, Toastmaster Shonak, who in his spontaneous speech went above 7 minutes level. And that is the power of having such rich experiences in life. Beyond that, mostly we like all both the speak like Aryan was in the range of 6 minutes 2 seconds, and all the table topics were within 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman, for sharing your timer report. And yes, leaders don't chase time, they command it, which is why all of you are leaders that we were able to finish in time. So I'll quickly share the general evaluation for today's meeting. Like I said, leaders don't chase time, they command it, which is why it's very important for us to start our meetings timely. Today, we started our meeting at about 10:44, which was slightly 14 minutes over the time. So I request everyone to make sure that if you're joining the meeting, join at least 5 minutes before the meeting begins so that we can at least start within a stipulated time, which is about 10:30, 10:35-ish. Otherwise, there's no point chasing everyone, calling people and inviting them to meeting because it eats up a lot of time. Like we are almost 11:58. If I don't finish the meeting in 2 minutes, I'll run over time. If somebody has got prior commitments, it may get impacted as well. So let's aim to start the meeting in time. And we always finish in time, which is why we demonstrate good leadership skills. We can begin the meeting on time as well. So let's focus on that. The meeting started with Sa's announcement, which is our Toastmaster Vidhu. I love the energy she put in towards the beginning of the meeting. Sa is a face that you see very first person talking in the meeting. So she put in very right energy, cheerful, happy, and putting all that enthusiasm in opening the meeting. Great job done on that. Next, we had Toastmaster Nancy as T-Mod, and she chose an amazing topic to begin with, which is power of gratitude. Something that we have in our hearts, but we never acknowledge. There are practices, if we don't acknowledge, it might fade away with time, it might fade away with everything happening in life. So it was a great reminder to be grateful for things. And yes, Toastmaster on a Saturday morning where everyone is sleeping, but we are here. It's really important that we acknowledge where we are investing our time and energy. So great job done on choosing the theme of today and allowing everyone to speak about it, acknowledge the parts of their lives that they might have had in their hearts, but never spoken it out loud. And now this is even recorded, going live on YouTube. We can always revisit it. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Nancy, for choosing that topic. And then we have transitioned to our prepared speeches, two of most amazing, great speakers that we had today. When we are delivering a speech, we can start this practice that we choose the pathway and specifically look for what are the elements that we are adding in the speech. Even if it is an unprepared speech, quickly we can log into our Basecamp, because when we log in as per pathways in our Basecamp, it will give us the evaluation form so that we are very specific on the evaluation. I'm sure in general evaluation, in evaluating the speech in general, everyone has taken the feedback that yes, we have to have vocal variety, hand gesture, but there are very specific things that you can find in the evaluation form which will help you elevate your speech quality to the next level. How you can use this different element in the same speech. Because like I said earlier, that you don't need 100 different speeches. You can say one speech that you have already prepared in the past in just adding much more newer elements from taking the evaluation form and pathways that you choose. So something to think about. It is to everyone, to all the speakers, including myself. So I will start working on that as well, in picking up the evaluation form and adding the elements which are given specifically in the evaluation form. The first speaker, Aryan, Toastmaster Aryan, I really loved his speech. If you have known that there are a lot of archetypes of speakers, I could feel that he was talking from a bestie archetype, like, come and sit with me. I'll tell you how was my experience and share everything about what you have learned. Though there was a lot of content in the speech. He was trying to deliver to best of his ability, which is why pace was slightly faster. But that's what excitement looks like when you talk to your bestie and say, I was in this meeting, let me tell you all about it. And that goes like a smooth pace. So I really loved how the speech was about just sharing in a very casual tone, no pressure to tell someone what went wrong, but just a casual feedback that I would have learned from my journey. I really loved the tone of the speech. It was quite easy to absorb because it wasn't too harsh that somebody's lecturing me that do this. But at the same time, it was so educating, it was so valuable. I cannot say that each line of his speech did not have a golden nugget. I have made so many notes from his speech. So great job done on that speech. Something that stood out for me was that at least one element in your speech should be 11 on 10, because everyone aims to have a speech which is 10 on 10. But what is that speaker X factor that you have that makes your speech 11 on 10? So something that we should all take away home today, that what makes our speech 11 on 10. Moving on to our next speaker, speaker number 2, which was Shaunak. Again, I found the very similar tone in Shaunak's speech as well, a kind of bestie archetype, as well as the observational archetype, where you observe things and you can describe them in a way that people can picturize it. People can imagine, people can actually be with you in your experience. So I was quite captivated with the explanation of things, how you explain a sea world. How do you explain a sea world to someone? It has to be a lot of detail and descriptive, which I think Shaunak did a really amazing job on. And Toastmaster Anshuman has already given feedback and evaluation recommendation on it. Apart from that, I really loved the speech, really enjoyed that experience. I felt like I was there with you the entire time. And then we moved on to the table topic section. It was amazingly planned. It was in line with our theme. We encouraged all the speakers to pick up a topic, and everyone spoke really very well. Something that I would like to highlight in general, when we are given a table topic, sometimes the very first speaker or first few speakers are really lost, because it's like you're being seen at the moment and it's an impromptu speak. So just pick one thing from the topic or one story from your past and build that table topic on that, because sometimes we are being flushed with the ideas. Framing the ideas a little bit on everything can take the essence away, because it's a very short time. In 2 minutes we have to deliver a speech which is impactful, which is clear. So what do we prioritize? Prioritize clarity in your table topic. One single message in a speech. It should be impactful, it should be inspiring, it should feel like that person has taken something in those 2 minutes. So if you have to say just a few lines in 2 minutes, what would you say to someone that it's impactful? So frame your table topics around that. Everyone did a good job. I really loved how people in table topics share own personal experience, personal story that makes you a great speaker. Because if you can share your story, if you can just open your heart, the more people will be able to connect with you. And that's what feels like a connection with audience. So great job done on that. Moving on to our evaluation section. Both the evaluators were really amazing. Their observation and the feedback sandwich that they followed, commendation, recommendation, and commendation. It was great. A great job done on that. So this is pretty much end of our general evaluation as well. Any feedback, any suggestion? I don't see any guests in here. I am more than welcome to hear. Though we are over time, if you have any other commitments, please don't be obligated to stay back. But if you would like to chit chat, we have some fun sessions, some AI related session planned with Vidhu, some golden nuggets in there. So if you want to stay back, yes, you will be able to utilize your time to the best. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
We can stop the recording and then we can continue.
All right. Let her finish
For
the
Toastman Nancy to conclude the proceeding.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minakshi, for the general evaluation. That was a wonderful evaluation from your side, and there were lot many points that I noted from your evaluation. And thank you, Toastmaster Vidhu and Toastmaster Anshuman, for your evaluation on the prepared speeches. Now, as we conclude the speech, one point which I wanted to mention here with the theme of this topic, gratitude. So, happiness is the state of mind. On the Republic Day, there is a race in our society that gets held every year. So I could see top three kids were standing there, and I could see that the kid who was third was the happiest one, and the first one was okay, that's fine. I have been winning this for years. But the point is, when I clicked that pic, third one was looking prettiest. So it is not about winning or losing, it's just that being happy in a particular situation and being thankful what we have and where we are. So with that, we conclude our meeting. Thank you everyone for joining the session. It was really great. And in every meeting, I feel that I am learning something new. So thank you everyone. So making this journey beautiful.